Good morning, and welcome to the Lone Star Weekly Business Hour. Your host, Rick Schissler, is a Silver Fox advisor who personally has over 40 years of experience as a serial entrepreneur. So sit back, pull out your pad and pencil, and get ready to take notes as we join Rick Schissler in his Lone Star Weekly Business Hour.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Weekly Business Hour. This is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host of the Weekly Business Hour. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We'll start with my thought for the week, growth. How do you manage it? A quick check-in then with Dick on the business of Lone Star. And Jennifer Jones of MommyTrade.com is in the studio today to tell us about how she's launched a successful online business where moms can buy, sell, and trade baby items. Trish Cooper of Patricia Cooper Insurance Agency will join us to talk about having the necessary insurance for our business vehicles. And we'll finish up with your Silver Fox Advisor tip of the week, persuading others to follow your lead. Now, the thought for the week, growth. How do you manage it? I think that's a great challenge in business. How do you manage growth? But there are some limitations. A lot of folks feel they can start a business and it'll just grow. But, a lot of thought, in my opinion, needs to go into what kind of growth do you want in your business? What kind of growth can you afford in your business? What does growth even look like? How much is enough? How much is too much? Lots and lots of questions that I encourage you as you start a business or even if you're in a mature business to think about. It's very much a personal question, in my opinion, for every business. Every business is different. Growing a new business is not necessarily subject to a preconceived formula. I don't believe there's a book out there that can tell you Y plus X minus Z will give you something, but it is definitely a subject, as you can tell, that has many factors. Some factors, such as having enough cash to support the growth, are definitely under our control. Others, such as a catastrophic event, can be completely out of our control. Whether you're starting a new business or operating a mature business, you must plan for growth. The level of planned growth is totally up to you as the owner of the business. If your plan is poorly designed, then growth, too much or too little, can literally sink your business. Many factors come into play when you're planning for the growth of your business. I've already mentioned the availability of the proper amount of cash to support your growth plan as one, and in particular one that many people unfortunately fail to plan for. Some others are necessary trained labor, material, and equipment to produce your product or deliver your services. All these factors are equally important in one sense, and the failure to have the correct amount of one can doom your plan. My encouragement, take careful stock of your own growth factors and monitor them as your business grows, always making sure that they are in the correct balance to support your business and its plan to grow. You're in the right place if you're a business owner, manager, or you're considering starting your own business, because the Weekly Business Hour is where Montgomery County comes to talk about the latest in business news, ideas to improve your business, and to hear from some of our own local business leaders on how they have found success right here in Montgomery County. If you're ready to do business this week, then let's get started with today's show. I want to remind you first, though, that if you have a question or a concern or an idea, always feel free to email me during the show or even after the show. You can reach me at rick@irlonestar.com. And if you enjoy the show, I encourage you to like us on Facebook at the Weekly Business Hour page. Now, let's check on business right here at Lone Star. Dick, what is on tap with Lone Star for the coming week?
I want to let all your listeners know that on February 20th, we got two events we're supporting going on. We have the Downtown Go Texan Parade here in Conroe. We ourselves, Lone Star Community Radio, will have a float. And also our DJ, Rick the Reluctant Cowboy, is the MC for the Special Olympics Texas Polar Bear Plunge happening before the parade. So if you want something to do all day, head out to La Torreta Lake Resort and Spa for the Special Olympics Texas Polar Bear Plunge, and then come on down to downtown Conroe and see Lone Star Community Radio in the float for the Go Texan Parade.
Well, I can't think of a better way to spend the day than to take a dip in Lake Conroe, especially this kind of year, warm up and dry off and come downtown and see a great parade. And I want to mention that Lone Star will have a float, or if you will, or a vehicle in the parade. So come down and say howdy to us if you have a chance. Now to news you can use, some local business news. A couple of things happening. One is an observation of almost an anniversary of a great institution here in the county. And the other, though, and I want to start with, is the expansion of our own educational system right here in Montgomery County. Lone Star College System opened a new campus in Creekside Village. It's, to me, one of the great assets of our community is our educational system through our ISDs, private schools, and through the Lone Star College System and other colleges that have a presence in the community. This new branch opened officially on January 19th. 85,000 square foot campus, Lone Star Creekside. It actually opened back in December, but if you want to know where it's located, 8747 West New Harmony Trail. That's 8747 West New Harmony Trail. Lone Star College System Chancellor Steve Head said the construction of the new campus sets the standard for other facilities to come in the future. And I think if you'll visit that campus, if you're thinking about getting some additional education, perhaps you're earning a 2-year associate degree and whatnot, you'll find it is really up to standards as far as some cutting-edge technology available to you as a student. Chancellor Head went on to say, those of you involved with the construction know how much work it takes to do this. It's a lot of work going into this, and at the end of the day, this building is setting a benchmark that is going to be setting the standard for the kind of facility Lone Star is building throughout our community. Besides expressing their support for the construction and design of this new location, college officials at the ribbon-cutting ceremony said they hope the college will act as an educational pathway for students in the area. Linda Good, who is chairwoman of the Lone Star College System Board of Trustees, said because community college such as Lone Star are able to provide unique education options, the idea of community college is shaping the future of higher education. Chancellor Ms. Good went on to say, we provide the best educational value for the dollar. Community college in general and Lone Star Community System in particular are most responsive to employers with jobs to give. And that's a key thing for us as businesses in this county, is that the Lone Star College System and other institutions of learning have really given us a lot more options on hiring qualified employees. I would encourage anyone that's interested to go to lonestar.edu/creekside-center.htm if they want to learn more. Now to somewhat of an anniversary, not officially, but an institution that was noted also in our Community Impact magazine newspaper back on February 10th, and that's the Crichton Theater. As I sit here today, I'm sitting right next door to the Crichton Theater, and I think it has a wonderful history that I want to share a little bit with you. It has lots of entertainment options, and if you're not familiar with the Crichton in downtown Conroe, I encourage you to become so. 80 years ago, the Crichton Theater was founded. Originally, it was founded by former Conroe Mayor Harry M. Crichton, who built the theater in 1935 to give back to the Conroe community after discovering oil on his property. Executive Director James Bingham said it's an amazing overbuild at that time for a town that only had 1,300 people living in it. His idea was to make it so that in one weekend, if every man, woman, and cow wanted to come and see a show, that it was possible. If you can imagine what Conroe looked back in 1935, if you weren't living here at that time, only 1,300 people, they could do 2 or 3 shows and fill it up with everyone who lived in the community. Originally, the theater was built during the Vaudeville era, but that was on its decline, and it became a movie house. Kind of fell into some disrepair in the 60s when drive-in theaters, if you remember those, came into vogue. But in those days, it's interesting if you realize there were only a limited number of cuts made of every movie. So when it was shown in your town, if you didn't take advantage of it, you missed your opportunity, in most cases forever, unless you traveled to another town. Very interesting. And in 1976, kind of a hallmark year for the theater, former theater owners Frank and Hallie Crichton Guthrie transferred ownership to the Montgomery County Foundation for the Performing Arts, also known as the Crichton Theater Foundation. After several groups and banks donated initial seed money to jumpstart a restoration effort, the foundation raised over $365,000 in a special fundraiser that featured pianist Peter Duchin and his band at the Walden Country Club. The theater opened again in January of 1979 with a performance by the Houston Symphony. The resident theater group, the Crichton Community Playhouse, put on its first show, The Last Meeting of the Knights of the White Magnolia, on February 1st in 1979. The spirit of the theater lives on today through the Stage Right group. They're the house group, if you will, but there are all kinds of entertainment that are put on at the Crichton. And again, I encourage you to learn more if you don't know. You can do that by going to www.crichtontheater.org to learn more about the Crichton Theater and the types of productions that are available to you and your family. Another great business, if you will, in Montgomery County, and I wanted to share that history with you today. Well, all of that aside, now we come to my favorite part in the show, and that's with our live studio guest. And I am so pleased to have Jennifer Jones of mommytrade.com. Well, Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You know, it's been a while since we've had someone who deals with online, and I'm not sure we've ever had a business that solely deals online. Share with us, to get started, a little bit about your business background and what brought you up to the point of starting mommytrade.com.
Yeah, sure. So I am a mom. I have a 3-year-old at home. And after having my son, I wanted to create a safer way for moms to connect. And so I created mommytrade.com. It's a free resource for moms to buy, sell, or trade their baby items online.
And prior to that, what did you do in the business world? I mean, what gave you the background or credentials to start your own business?
I wouldn't say I have the credentials. It's an idea and something I'm very passionate about. I want to create a safer environment for moms. My background is in HR, but ever since I've had my son, I wanted to help mommies out there in the community.
You know, that's interesting because here we have an unusual circumstance, because most people start a business, they have a little bit of background somewhere, but occasionally, and we've had them in the studio, and I always admire people that, hey, I got a passion, I can see a vision, and then they go and start a business even though they really have no background in it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to really kind of dig into things with Jennifer and learn more about her online business. So please stay with us. We'll be right back with you.
Are you paying too much for your personal or business insurance? Patricia Cooper Insurance on FM 1488 and Tamina Road is an independent agency that can shop multiple carriers to find the best rates and coverages to fit your specific needs. Call us today at 281-356-9955 and let us go to work for you. Patricia Cooper Insurance, where our customers are treated like family.
The East Texas Dream Center is in need of your help. We are a nonprofit Christian organization that houses women and children who are trying to get their lives back after being homeless, abused, or addicted. We are conveniently located at 301 South 1st Street, Conroe, Texas, 77301, right here in Montgomery County. Our needs are financial, and every needs of gasoline, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, Lysol, and whatever else God puts in your heart. To help our ladies and children, please consider a donation. You may visit our website at www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Again, so you don't forget, it's www.easttexasdreamcenter.org. Donations are tax deductible. Remember what Jesus said, with God, nothing is impossible.
Running a business is hard. Pressure to maximize profits and minimize loss continue to grow. Schooley Mitchell of Houston can help. Their independent consultants will ensure you are receiving the best communications and credit card processing services at the best prices. Most importantly, their services are completely risk-free. If they don't find savings for you, there is no fee. Contact Schooley Mitchell of Houston today to find out. Call 832-314-1815 or visit their website at schooleymitchell.com/JM Polio.
Are you planning on growing, expanding, or possibly selling your business? All of these business opportunities require developing strategies and setting goals in order to achieve success. Providing specialized consulting in these and other key business decisions is what Silver Fox Advisors have been doing since 1986. Let us help you today. Call us at 713-343-3718. It might be the most profitable call that you ever make.
Tailorized PR works exclusively to get your business noticed. Public relations is how others perceive you and your company. By tailorizing the marketing strategy exclusively to your business, your story is told. Tailorized PR services include networking, social media, blogs, press releases, public appearances, and event planning. To learn about Tailorized PR, call Margie Taylor at 936-828-6881 or visit the website at tailorizedpr.com. My business is tailored to yours.
Welcome back. This is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox Advisor. You're listening to the Weekly Business Hour, and in the studio today, we're pleased to have Jennifer Jones of mommytrade.com. And before we went to break, Jennifer gave us a little brief background of how she got to the point in her life to kind of jump off and start mommytrade.com. Well, Jennifer, I think, I mentioned earlier, I always find it interesting that people somewhere, somehow discover a passion. And I think in your case, you mentioned you had your first child. And so you started looking around, where can I get this, get that? And there weren't a lot of places, or safe places, you called it. Elaborate on that a little bit for us. What really pushed you to go out and start a business to solve that problem?
Right. So I started meeting with moms on Craigslist and hearing their story and how some of them had a couple bad experiences. And I want to create a safer way for moms to be able to buy and sell their baby items, because as a mom, you do have to buy so much, and your little one grows up so quickly that you go through things very fast. So this is really an opportunity for moms to be able to help other moms and make a little money while they're doing it.
And really what you're talking about when you say items, it's not necessarily the disposables like diapers.
Right.
Obviously, it's the stroller, the crib, and all the equipment, right?
Basically, anything that you will need being a mommy is on Mommy Trade. We have so many categories. We have cribs, strollers, baby clothes, anything you can think of. I've made a category for it on Mommy Trade because I am a mom. So I know what you need.
Yeah, you're a mom and you have a 3-year-old, so you're
Yes.
kind of growing with your business, literally.
Yes, literally.
That's interesting. Well, I went and looked at your website, and I found it like a community, if you will, and that's what you emphasize. Tell me about that community, what that means to an individual, to a mom, or I assume dads are allowed to, if you have a single dad that needs to buy something or sell something. What does that community mean? Yeah,
Definitely. Grandparents, dads, moms, aunts, uncles, anybody that needs baby items, they can go on Mommy Trade and use that. And it is nationwide, but we target moms that are within a 40-mile radius of you. So if you just go on mommytrade.com, for example, type in strollers, it's going to list every mom within 40 miles of where you're located that are selling strollers. So we really create a community for the moms.
You know, that was something I asked you about, and I kind of did the duh moment, if you will.
Right.
Because when I register, I put a zip code in. So basically, right, the technology works off my zip code and only connects me with folks who have things to sell within, as you said, 40 miles.
Exactly.
You know, that's interesting of being able to do that. So I find that intriguing. I mean, wow. This is what technology's about. It's made it. I don't go to the newspaper and look in the want ads.
Right.
And your website's free.
It's free. So it's a free resource for moms to use. We do not take anything from you when you sell an item or when you post an item. Everything is free when you use it.
You also mentioned to me that you have new items that you allow to be sold on the site, sort of a limited category.
Right. Yeah. So originally I created the website for moms that want to post gently used items. But now we're seeing a lot of mommies that are making handmade items at home and have a side business, or this is what they do at home while raising their children. We have a lot of mommies that are selling handmade clothes, hats, booties, and so they can post too for free.
So the idea is I might even have a business and I've got an outlet for it, but it really doesn't cost me anything.
Exactly. It's a free resource.
That's interesting. Well, I have to ask you, how do you monetize the site? How do you make money to support it?
Yeah, so we have banners. We advertise. I work with a lot of mommy bloggers and local businesses, national businesses, and you could definitely pay for a banner on a monthly basis, and we do charge for that.
So you do that. You're the way you, just so I understand, the way you're monetizing or making money, if you will, or generating revenue is through the paid advertising.
Exactly.
But I can go on the site, and I'm going back again and sell my products myself, or gently used, or even some new items that I might make myself, and there's not any charge.
There's not going to be any charge. I really wanted to create a community for moms, and I want to help moms sell their items and also not be charged if they are selling their items.
Now, is that what makes it different in your mind than, say, Craigslist or eBay?
I would say we're different. We also have ratings, so we want to create a safer environment for moms so they can rate each other after they do their trade or they sell their item. They can go back home and say, hey, this mommy was really great. I really enjoyed meeting with her. Definitely buy from her. And then we also offer Spanish and English, so our Spanish-speaking mommies can also use this resource.
Right. And I think that in today's world, particularly in this part of the country, and I assume other parts of the country, that's an important ability to have some flexibility inside to be able to do that.
Right.
Let me ask you this now. You're in this area, the greater Houston area. What other major metropolitan areas are you represented in now?
So we're really popular in Florida and Tampa and Miami, also New York City, Brooklyn. We're also seeing some mommies in Orange County, California. So we're starting to see, I do a lot of my advertising through social media. So we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And then a lot of our mommies are coming to us realizing, hey, this is a free resource we can use. So it's becoming more and more popular.
That's interesting. So you're just sort of spreading through the social media.
Exactly. I've only used Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to promote this.
Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, you had some vision to do this. You had a need. You basically solved your own need, but went to the effort to build something like this, an online store, if you will. Where do you see this down the road in the next, say, 3, 4, 5 years? I mean, what is your vision for the internet in this kind of business?
Well, we are nationwide right now, but I have a lot of moms that have reached out to me in Canada and Mexico, so I would like to make this international for as many moms as possible. So I do see next year we're going to open up our locations throughout Canada.
Well, that's interesting. So you see more and more acceptance of your kind of business potentially around the world.
Right.
And is that the vision you have?
Yes, I do. I think all mommies can use this, just not here in the U.S., but a lot of the moms in Canada, they're on Etsy, they're selling their product. After they sell it on Etsy, they're not coming home with a lot of money. And also Amazon. I mean, it's just a great resource for mommies to use in addition to what they're doing and market their products.
So you're talking more of the newer products in
that
case.
Right, exactly.
That's interesting. Now, do you see that being transformative to move more and more into new products?
It's just been really popular. I didn't create the website for that, but any way I can help moms, that's what we're here for. That's
interesting. Very interesting. Let me ask you this. One of the things that you and I talked about prior to the show was, shopping online. There's obviously some guidelines or some tips, some things we need, rules of the road, I call them in business. Can you share some of the things you've learned, some advice you might have for those of us who do shop online?
Yeah, I think it's really important. Just meet in a public place. That's one thing you wouldn't think of, but you don't want to invite somebody into your home that you don't know, and that you're raising your children in. You don't want to meet late at night. If you can meet in a public place and bring somebody with you, that would be really great. Always have your cell phone on you. And then there's some other things that you can do that people may not know. You can actually Google a seller's email and kind of do a little research before you meet up with them. All our mommies on Mommy Trade are actually, the 90% of them are on social media already. So you can just put their email on Facebook and kind of say, okay, they're really a mommy. I'm really going to meet somebody that I don't have to be scared to meet, and meet them in a public place.
Well, I noticed that's been one of the major criticisms or major issues I've read a lot about. Craigslist particularly, there's been some terrible stories of criminal activity and whatnot resulted of meeting. So how do you help moms get over the fear? I mean, I'm meeting a mom. That sort of relaxes me, makes me feel a little trusting. But Anything you do particularly to try to put people at ease?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely put their email in Facebook. See if they're on Facebook. Is this, somebody that's on social media? And then also, after you do meet up with them, please rate them online, because that's what we're trying to do. We're in a new website, so there aren't a lot of ratings, but then you can help the next mom say, okay, somebody has used this person and I feel comfortable meeting them.
And the thing about it is, again, your site is free, so anybody can go on there and put a listing of an item or items for sale.
Right, exactly.
So you really do no pre-screening or anything?
We do not do any pre-screening, so you always just want to be careful wherever you go.
Right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, again, I find it very interesting that someone who did not have a background in online sales, or not necessarily sales at all, in your case HR, but you saw a need because it was something happening right next to you or right in your own life.
Right.
Has it been a good process for you?
I have really enjoyed it. I'm so passionate about this. I love doing it, and I love helping other mommies out there. So it's been a great experience so far.
You've had good positive feedback, I assume.
Great feedback. All positive things.
Anything that people ask you to do that you really can't do as far as on the site? Is there something they want a service or something that you've not been able to do?
That's a good question. I had a lot of mommies that do photography on the site also, and they wanted to put their service online. So I created a services section so they can put their photography business, newborn photography, or any kind of breastfeeding help or anything that can service moms. You can actually list under our services section.
So you've expanded also into that area too as well.
Right. It's not the main area that we're doing, but we also offer that.
Right. So that's expansion. So this feedback is giving you the ideas what
exactly.
What the customers
yeah,
are saying.
Definitely. The mommies help so much.
Yeah. Well, it makes a huge difference in business. That's one thing, ladies and gentlemen, you got to listen to your customers, right?
That's right.
Well, Jennifer, I deeply appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us today. And if people want to find out or learn more about and participate, where do they go?
You can go to mommytrade.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, mommytrade. If you just type that in, we'll come up.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you again, and I wish
you for having me.
All the success in the world. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. Remind you that if you didn't catch all of Jennifer's interview, that it will be posted in our archive in the next 48 hours. You can always listen to one of our podcasts at irlonestar.com. We'll be right back with you in a minute with a few hopeful with an interview with Trish Cooper.
Are you paying too much for your personal or business insurance? Patricia Cooper Insurance on FM 1488 and Tamina Road is an independent agency that can shop multiple carriers to find the best rates and coverages to fit your specific needs. Call us today at 281-356-9955 and let us go to work for you. Patricia Cooper Insurance, where our customers are treated like family.
Running a business is hard. The pressure to maximize profits and minimize loss continue to grow. Schooley Mitchell of Houston can help. Their independent consultants will ensure you are receiving the best communications and credit card processing services at the best prices. Most importantly, their services are completely risk-free. If they don't find savings for you, there is no fee. Contact Schooley Mitchell of Houston today to find out. Call 832-314-1815 or visit their website at schooleymitchell.com/JM Polio.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Are you planning on growing, expanding, or possibly selling your business? All of these business opportunities require developing strategies and setting goals in order to achieve success. Providing specialized consulting in these and other key business decisions is what Silver Fox Advisors have been doing since 1986. Let us help you today. Call us at 713-343-3718. It might be the most profitable call that you ever make.
Tailorized PR works exclusively to get your business noticed. Public relations is how others perceive you and your company. By tailorizing the marketing strategy exclusively to your business, your story is told. Tailorized PR services include networking, social media, blogs, press releases, public appearances, and event planning. To learn about Tailorized PR, call Margie Taylor at 936-828-6881 or visit the website at tailorizedpr.com. My business is tailored to yours.
Our community's animal shelters cannot absorb accidental litters of kittens and puppies. Approximately 80% of the animals entering our shelters will not make it out alive. Please help be a part of the solution. Please spay and neuter your pets. Many low-cost options are available. Visit texaslittercontrol.org to learn more. That's texaslittercontrol.org. And remember, real Texans don't litter. Please spay and neuter your pets.
Heaven's Army of Resources and Recreation Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization featuring a 10,000 square foot building located at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas. At Heaven's Army, we offer over 26 different services free for all ages, from karate, dance, drug and alcohol classes, anger management, parenting, food and clothing pantries, to just name a few. We are supported solely by volunteers and private donations. Our main mission is to glorify God in all that we do. At Heaven's Army, we strive to be a hand up, not a handout. Come check us out at 19325 FM 1485 West, New Caney, Texas, or call for more information at 281-689-5864. You may also learn more about Heaven's Army by visiting our website at heavensarmyofresources.com.
You are listening to the Weekly Business Hour, and this is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host of the show. We've had a wonderful morning here talking about online businesses and some good thoughts and business news. And now we come to the part of the show where we hopefully will have one of our experts give you some information that could make a real difference in the operation of your business. And this morning joining us is Trish Cooper of Patricia Cooper Insurance. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, we're doing wonderful today. We're getting clearing skies outside. We're going to see a little sun, right, here in Montgomery County before the day's out, don't you think?
I hope so. I've been in northern Mississippi all weekend, and it was about 32 degrees, so this is awesome. Well,
a little overcast this morning, but clearing and clouds breaking up, which is great. Well, today I've asked Trish to join us and talk a little bit about the use of a vehicle in your business. To my knowledge, almost everybody uses a vehicle of some sort in some way in their business, whether they're on their own in a solo-type business, sole proprietor. We use our vehicles to call on people to deliver things. Sometimes we ask employees to deliver things. And then when our business, if it requires, we actually own vehicles in the business, company-owned vehicles. But there's a lot of ground in there and a lot of potential liability if a vehicle either owned by yourself, an employee, or the business is in some type of accident. So I'm hoping, Trish, you can kind of square us away and clarify everything and teach us a little bit about what we need to know about taking care of or protecting ourselves from that liability. I thought we'd start first and talk about, what is a business vehicle? What does that mean as far as the law and insurance are concerned?
It's such a broad term. It can be applied in so many different ways. Obviously, if you have a vehicle that is titled in the name of your business and it has your business logos and advertising on it, and you use it in the daily activities of your business, obviously that's a business vehicle. Sometimes it's a little less clear when an individual such as myself owning an insurance agency, I have a vehicle that's titled in my personal name, but I call on customers, I make sales calls, I do things in that vehicle, and it is used for the benefit of my business. And so there's different ways that you can approach that type of risk to protect your business as well. most personal auto carriers will allow you to have a vehicle that's used for certain things, for like traveling between customer calls and that type of thing. Real estate agents is a perfect example, and driving to homes and things. You can list that vehicle as business use on your personal auto policy, and it provides you that protection, and you're being upfront with your personal auto carrier in the type of activity that's being used for that vehicle, and you'll have no problems if you have it designated as business use. Where things get a little bit concerning, and sometimes we don't think about it, is the new cool thing is everybody wraps their vehicle. You put your advertising, you put your logos, even if it's just a magnetic sticker that you put on the side of your vehicle's titled in your name, but once you put your business logo on there, and you're involved in an accident, an individual that is contacting an attorney, and they notify that attorney that this vehicle was advertising a business, had your business logo and all of that information on there, not only are you subject to the liability for your personal auto if you have it on there, but because your business name is on there, there is an ability for that attorney to go after your business in seeking damages. And so you have to kind of be careful in how you do things and ensure that you have enough coverage on your auto policies. And if you need to have a commercial auto policy that provides coverage to your business in the event of an auto accident involving that vehicle that's advertising your business.
Well, you know, a couple things on what you said. First, back at the beginning, you mentioned that you are, and I don't know what word, I can't remember, but you're upfront or honest with your insurance agent saying, hey, I use my personal vehicle in my business. Those of us who do that know that we will pay a higher premium to do that. But I have seen so many people, particularly small sole proprietor businesses, try to hide that fact to save a few dollars in premium. And they don't declare or tell their agent, oh, I use it in my business to make, like you mentioned, deliveries, sales calls, whatever, pick up parts. And then it always concerned me, because you find yourself in one of the situations, like you mentioned, an accident, but people just aren't forthcoming with their agent. And I'm sure you face that personally all the time.
And the concern you have to have is probably in 99% of those cases, if you did not designate it as business use, you're involved in an accident and they find out that it was in business use, 99% of the time they'll probably still pay that claim. But wouldn't you hate to be that 1% where they said, you know what, this is not what we allow as a type of use for the vehicle, and therefore because of the use and it violates our contract that we had with you for your policy, we're going to decline to pay damages. And where do you go from there?
Well, and you know, that's you're exactly right. You're going to be the exception, and again, I think it's a risk not worth taking, and that would be my encouragement to any listener that uses their own personal vehicle and doesn't at least at the very minimum declare it is a business vehicle on their personal insurance. The other scenario that always concerned me, particularly for small business people, was where I ask an employee to make a delivery, go pick up some supplies, and I reimburse them. I give them $10, or maybe they're on an allowance of so much a mile, or maybe there's some kind of compensation. What kind of coverage does the business have to protect itself in that case, where it doesn't own the vehicle, but it asks the employee to use their personal vehicle?
There's a coverage that you can have added to even sometimes a business owner's policy, which is your general liability and property policies, and it's a coverage called hired and non-owned auto. And this is what covers you if you rent a vehicle to move things for your business or to deliver some things on an occasional basis, or if you have your employees making deliveries for you or going to the post office or doing things and using their own personal vehicle. Their personal auto insurance would be the primary coverage for you, but Lord forbid they were involved in a serious accident, or again, an individual found out that they were doing business at that time on behalf of your company and decided to include your company in on a lawsuit involving an accident, that hired and non-owned coverage would provide you the coverage for that employee using their personal vehicle in the course of your business. And that coverage is not that expensive. It's something that you can have, again, like I said, a lot of the business owner policies that we have, those packages, it's an endorsement. You just check off and add that coverage, and it's not very expensive, and you can put it on. You don't even have to have a commercial auto policy sometimes in order to have that coverage.
Well, and one other thing that I feel, and I think you and I have even talked about this before, is the fact that, you can have the situation, a scenario like I just described, or the one you originally talked about where I'm personally using my vehicle. And part of the problem we run into, and in the case of the employee, is a lot of folks carry minimum insurance. So now I've asked an employee to run an errand. They've got very minimal coverage, whatever the current minimum is, and they're in a serious accident where people are hurt badly, and there's a certain amount of property damage. And if I haven't covered the company in the way you described, then all of a sudden I'm in real trouble.
And for a small business, an event like that where you have, even a $25,000 or $30,000 settlement because your employee or even you did not have sufficient coverages on your policy, and the business is having to make up for that, that can be a devastating event for a small business.
Yeah, that's a great point to make. Well, let's come now full circle, if you will. We come down to our business has grown, or it's the type of business that we need to have company-owned vehicles in the business, trucks, cars, whatever required to perform the delivery of products, pick up supplies, or perform services. So now I've got my little fleet of 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 vehicles. What kind of coverages and what's important to look for in that area?
Well, the main thing you need to look at is information, and again, your agent is a good source of information on making a determination as to the limits that you need. A lot of times it's dictated by contracts that you have with vendors and people that you're working for and with. They'll have insurance requirements. Most larger companies, when you work on a contract with larger companies, they're going to require that you have the $1 million, what they call a combined single limits, which is just one limit for bodily injury, for your personal liability, and for your I have had a blank, for your property damage. There we go. Apologize for that. And $1 million combined single limits is a standard for most contracts and requirements, and that's the thing to be careful of, is to make sure with your vendors you look for any insurance requirements that they have for your business and make sure that you're meeting those. And a lot of it depends on the type of vehicles that you're running, the distances. If you've got your guys traveling long distances on highways, 100 miles a day or more, they're doing a lot of traffic driving, have those higher limits. And again, if your vehicle has company logo, company information, and it's very obvious that it's a company vehicle, I wouldn't recommend having anything less than $500,000 in those combined single limits, just because of the type of litigious society that we live in. They see a company name and they see that that vulnerability there, and you really need to make sure that you have your company protected.
Well, Trish, once again, you've proven the value of having a good agent, something I encourage all my clients to have, a quality insurance agent who can advise them, because there are so many options and so many risks to consider when buying a policy. I want to thank you for joining us today, and if people have additional questions and want to follow up, what's the best way to contact you?
The easiest way is just to call us directly. I have agents in the office that can help. Our phone number is 281-356-9955. You can also visit our website at www.pcooperins.com.
Well, again, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another short break. I hope you'll stay with us. We're going to have our segment on Silver Fox Tip of the Week, the subtle ways to persuade others to follow your lead. We'll be right back.
Are you paying too much for your personal or business insurance? Patricia Cooper Insurance on FM 1488 and Tamina Road is an independent agency that can shop multiple carriers to find the best rates and coverages to fit your specific needs. Call us today at 281-356-9955 and let us go to work for you. Patricia Cooper Insurance, where our customers are treated like family.
Are you planning on growing, expanding, or possibly selling your business? All of these business opportunities require developing strategies and setting goals in order to achieve success. Providing specialized consulting in these and other key business decisions is what Silver Fox Advisors have been doing since 1986. Let us help you today. Call us at 713-343-3718. It might be the most profitable call that you ever make.
The Conroe YMCA's benchmark adaptive programming for kids and adults is Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is an equine-assisted therapy program serving children and adults with adaptive needs. The riders in our Leap of Faith program are working to address and manage specific aspects of their lives impacted by illness, injury, or disability. The Leap of Faith program has experience working with riders who are living with attention deficit or other hyperactivity disorders, hearing impairments, visual impairments, developmental delays or disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, head traumas, brain injuries, and paralysis. Our program uses horseback riding to develop self-confidence and self-esteem, to increase upper and lower body strength, assist in respiratory issues, and establish a trusting relationship between the rider and their horse. Not only do these activities aid in the physical and mental development of the rider, but they also foster self-reliance and independence. For more information regarding our program, to become a rider, or to volunteer with a great group of people, please call our Welcome Center at 936-441-9622 or visit our website at www.ymcahouston.org/Conroe.
Running a business is hard. Pressure to maximize profits and minimize loss continue to grow. Schooley Mitchell of Houston can help. Their independent consultants will ensure you are receiving the best communications and credit card processing services at the best prices. Most importantly, their services are completely risk-free. If they don't find savings for you, there is no fee. Contact Schooley Mitchell of Houston today to find out. Call 832-314-1815 or visit their website at schooleymitchell.com/JM-Polio.
Tailorized PR works exclusively to get your business noticed. Public relations is how others perceive you and your company. By tailorizing the marketing strategy exclusively to your business, your story is told. Tailorized PR services include networking, social media, blogs, press releases, public appearances, and event planning. To learn about Tailorized PR, call Margie Taylor at 936-828-6881 or visit the website at tailorizedpr.com. My business is tailored to yours.
This is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host of the Weekly Business Hour. Thank you for joining us today. We're in our final segment, and I want to start off with a Silver Fox tip of the week. Subtle ways to persuade others to follow in your lead. Obviously, one of the keys to be successful in business is to get people to see it your way. This obviously would apply to employees, but you also, in a different way, it applies to our clients, customers, vendors, and other people that we need to support our businesses. The key factor is if you're seen as an authority in your topic or area, you're committed and consistent about getting a particular result, then you'll be able to influence all these types of people to follow your lead. But there's some tips I'd like to share with you that might help you focus or refocus on this issue as you move through your day. First, obviously, be committed. You need to be passionate about your business, and you need to show your passion, just as our guest today, Jennifer Jones, does, through your actions. She went out and created a website because she saw a need. She was passionate about helping others. You need to show your passion in your business by the actions you take throughout the day. Secondly, be consistent. Obviously, don't say one thing and do another. Always be consistent in your message, your words, your actions. The old actions speak louder than words. Very common sense item. But when you walk your talk, people will follow you. Third, give back. Always be a giver, both personally and in your business. This will persuade people that you are trustworthy, that they can trust you because you're giving. You're not always taking or asking for something. Collaborate when given an opportunity. Show your concern for a problem. Make people feel if they're part of the process by asking for their input. When you're trying to solve an issue or work with a client or customer, work on collaboration. Again, this will build trust for you. People like to work with people they feel they have a voice with. When they feel like you're listening and you're asking their opinion, they will follow you. Provide social proof. When you're complimented in your business or receive testimonies, let people know about them. Put them up on your website. Put them in letters that you send out, emails. Show that other people in the community that you work in are paying attention to your business. They're happy doing business with you. Again, this takes you a long way down the road to building trust with people. Next, increase your likability. How do you do that? Well, be a positive person. Be positive in your outlook. Be positive in the words you use, your actions. Stand by your convictions. If you show that you're a source of solution, not problems, then the folks that you want to listen to you will see that you're the kind of person that they can trust. Last but not least, set a time limit in the things you do. You know, one of the things we run into oftentimes in life is we get into situations. It's kind of like going to church on Sunday, and please forgive me, Pastor, but the sermon goes on and on and on. There's a lack of brevity in delivering the message. And the point is that you need to set a time limit and let people know what your time limit is. Impress upon them that you put a time limit on yourself and your communications with them, that you have a time limit when you're going to deliver your services or product, and in turn with the people you work with and the people you're trying to do business, ask for their time limit. Ask them to make the decisions. Ask them to produce the work. It creates a sense of urgency, and most people want that sense of urgency. They appreciate it, and they want to follow people who have that sense of urgency. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another show. I appreciate you joining us together today and encourage you to go to our website at irlonestar.com to stay up on everything happening here in Montgomery County. And as we close out the show today, I want to give a big Lone Star thanks to our sponsors, Patricia Cooper Insurance Company. Also thank Trish for joining us today. Thanks also to Schooley Mitchell, Taylorized PR, and of course the Silver Fox Advisors. Stay engaged this week and keep your focus on what counts in your business. Next week, our special studio guest will be Mark Yezak of Houston Spine and Rehab. Thank you for joining us, and until next week, remember to stay in touch with what's happening in Montgomery County. Stay right here with Lone Star Community Radio.
Thank you for checking out a podcast on Lone Star Internet Radio. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. If you are interested in sponsoring a program for Lone Star Internet Radio, just visit us online at irlonestar.com or message us on Facebook. We are always taking song requests on Twitter, and if you are interested in getting involved with the station, by either hosting your own show or if you want to be a DJ, just contact Dick at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station.